There are many ways to play Magic the Gathering, and Pioneer is the brewer's paradise.
Shaped by semi-constant bannings in its early days, this is the way to play that attracts the lovers of the weirdest combos and the wildest decks.
We had our viewers at home vote for the 16 best Pioneer decks in history and played a tournament pitting them against each other to find the strongest.
And now we finally have it. We have a top 8 of what could easily be the most powerful Pioneer decks of all time.
And after 7 videos, we'll be finally able to crown the best Pioneer deck ever.
I can't wait to play with powerful Pioneer decks.
Played this deck at a Pro Tour last year. Really like this deck. One of my favorite, honestly.
I'm playing one of the most broken decks in Pioneer history, Winota. Named after the namesake Winota Joiner of Forces, which is already in my opening hand. My plan is just to ramp her out as quickly as possible, because as soon as she's on the battlefield, the game can just end in one attack step, because she cheats out huge creatures straight into play attacking my opponent.
Sure, let's start.
Okay.
Me too. The deck I'm playing today is Amalia Combo, one of the strongest deck of all time in Pioneer. Perfect for this series. I love this deck. We have to combine Amalia Benavides Aguirre with Wagra Walker. These two, plus any ways of triggering life gain, will create a 20/20 creature, blow up the board, gain hundreds of life, and eventually kill your opponent. This hand just has one combo piece, but we do work our way through. Return to the Ranks can help us with some blocking. I think it's a keep.
I'll play a Forest, and I'll cast an Elvish Mystic. Now, Elvish Mystic is a mere 1/1 that generates 1 mana by tapping it. Go ahead.
I just noticed that both of our decks name are the top card that is currently banned. We know that I have Amalia. All right, I'll take 2 damage with a white and a black land for a Selfless Savior. Now this is a very loyal dog. What it does, it's a 1 mana 1/1. You sack it, you give indestructible to target creature.
It's very loyal, but it doesn't produce mana. I had plans before, but I found a better one.
2 green, what's that?
I'll cast the Prosperous Innkeeper. I feel like you know that one.
Yeah, we both are playing with this card.
Now, Prosperous Innkeeper, apparently the inn is running very well, because when it enters the battlefield, I create a treasure token, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, I gain 1 life. This turn, I can either preserve my treasure token, so my Elvish Mystic can attack the next turn with Winota on the battlefield, or, the better play, I can sack the treasure token to put Voice of Resurgence into play this turn, which can then attack as a 2/2 non-human next turn, instead of risking my Lanoa Elves in combat. And even this Innkeeper knows that you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
So I'll play an untapped Temple Garden, taking 2, and then immediately spend the treasure. You know, saving is for stupid people? I don't know.
Nah, I hope it's not, because I save, but yeah.
Personally, I also disagree, but the Innkeeper, he just spends his money where he can. I'll cast a Voice of Resurgence. This card used to be the best card in Standard. It's a 2 mana 2/2 elemental, and whenever an opponent casts a spell during my turn, or when Voice of Resurgence dies, I create a white-green elemental token that has power and toughness equal to the number of creatures I control.
You gain 1 life here, and I'll take my turn. I feel like we've seen this already before, so I'll take 2 damage and mimic your play with a Prosperous Innkeeper, taking your same treasure token. And now it's the time where we hope Jamin doesn't have a Winota.
If you play a deck that is named after a card, you better have that card. So I'm gonna play land, and I'm gonna cast the namesake of my deck. It's Winota Joiner of Forces. Winota is a 4/4 human and says, whenever a non-human creature I control attacks, just like that, she doesn't even have to attack herself, I look at the top 6 cards of my library. I may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of the library in a random order. So now, let's head into the red zone and let's check the type lines of my creatures. Elemental and Halfling Citizen. Neither are humans. So I'll swing for 3 and spin the wheel.
Twice.
Right?
Man, this card is very good.
All right, first trigger, check the top 6. Put a human into play, tapped and attacking. That's a bunch of lands. No, I found a Tovolar's Huntmaster.
That does not sound like a land to me. Is this a human?
When it enters the battlefield, I create 2 2/2 green wolf tokens.
But they're not attacking, thankfully.
They are not attacking.
Okay.
But this one is attacking and indestructible.
You have 1 more trigger.
1 more trigger. Let's see. Check another 6 cards. Believe it or not, there's only a single human among them. How about another Huntmaster?
Okay. Okay, so you're attacking me on turn 3. Wow, it's just turn 3 and Jamin has done so many things. Has put so much power on the battlefield, but let's count together. He has 2 plus 1 plus 6 plus 6. That's a total of 15. My life total is 16. You can tell me in the chat how much 16 minus 15 does, but my calculations say that I'm alive and my hand next turn is well sorted to win the game. So let's take this hit and let's go to our turn. So I'm on 16 life. You're coming in for 15. You know what? I'm taking on my forehead right now. 15 damage.
Now, I mean, life total is a resource, but I'm not sure if keeping those 1-1s around.
Well, those 1-1s will do a great job for me. I'll show you. Can I go? Let's go. Are you ready to see the power of my deck?
I would rather not.
I'll play Wagro Walker. This is a 1-3 with a pretty underwhelming text. Whenever a creature you control explore, you put a +1/+1 counter and you gain 3 life. For now, it just gives me 1 life for the Prosperous Innkeeper. I'll play a Takenuma here as a land for the turn. Then I'm going to tap 3 green plus 2 for the one and only Chord of Calling. This one costs triple green, but of course, you can help by tapping creatures of the same color with the powerful mechanic of Convoke. And then I can get a creature that costs X from my deck and put it right into play. X is equal to, oh look.
I have a hunch.
At the bottom of my deck, Amalia comes into play, triggers Prosperous Innkeeper. I gain a life. Amalia says whenever I gain a life, Amalia explores. I reveal the top of my deck. It's a creature. So I'll put it in the graveyard, put a dice on Amalia. And because Amalia explored, I'm gonna trigger my Wagro Walker that says whenever a creature of mine explores, I put a +1/+1 counter on this and gain 3 life. Well, those 3 life, guess what? Make me trigger Amalia again, which will reveal the top of my deck. It's a land, so it goes in my hand. But even if it's a land, it doesn't matter. I've explored, so Wagro Walker triggers, puts a counter, gains 3 life. Amalia keeps on triggering. As you might have noticed, this is a combo, a combination. You might ask, how does it end, Mengu? Well, I continue doing this for a bunch of time, putting counters here and there. The Wagro Walker counter doesn't really matter at this point because, well, everything is gonna die. That's the power of Amalia here. Amalia will slowly go up to 20. Now, has a very, very strange wording on her text. It says, then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. So we're gonna slowly go up here until Amalia power reaches 20, putting all the lands into my hand, all the creatures into the graveyard. So let's continue here, blah, blah, blah. This is definitely the, oh, there it is. All right, so at the Flux Reservoir, what does it say? It says lose 50 life and deal 50 damage to my opponent. But thankfully, my Wagro Walker is gaining me so much life. I'm not keeping track. Colin Editing will do all the work for us. But just know that my Amalia will become a 21 and then she will attempt to destroy every creature that's in play.
So all of our creatures go away?
All these dice that have provided a Wagro Walker healthy life will be put in the graveyard.
I do get an elemental token.
I'm gonna go to this card and a bunch more lands, yes, and pass to you.
I have a hunch that this game is over,
yes.
But I will draw. But I will take 2 for Stomping Ground to cast a second Winota. Woo! And you might have noticed that this is an elemental token, so it's not a human. And it will head into the red zone. Wait, no blocking yet. Trigger. I'll look at the top 6 cards to put a human into play, tapped and attacking. This adds.
Brutal Cathar. Okay, well, you can take my Amalia, but thankfully the Flux Reservoir on top of the deck.
It's still there. Now, Brutal Cathar is a human werewolf, as the Huntmaster was. And when it enters the battlefield, or it transforms into Brutal Cathar, I exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. So Amalia is gone for now, and you take 5.
I'll write it down. Can I go?
Yes.
I'll draw the Flux Reservoir, play planes, tap 4, play the Reservoir, lose 50 life, and deal you 50 damage.
Well, I lost this one, but for game 2, I'm bringing in a lot more removal, so I can disrupt that combo and I'm taking out some of the less impactful pieces of my deck. Main game plan is just to disrupt that combo.
Let's bring in some protection here. Time is safekeeping and Thoughtseize to make our combo more protected in the post-cyber games. All right, let's go.
Okay, I might be on the play, but not with this hand.
You're not on the play with this hand. I like it. I like my hand. Thoughtseize in my opening end is always nice, especially on the draw. This hand does its thing. I love Prosperous Innkeeper. This is a keep for me.
All right, this one, much better. I'll keep this, put this on the bottom, and start off with a tap temple card.
Nice.
Don't underestimate it, don't underestimate it.
You know, at the very beginning of Pioneer, they wanted to ban Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elf.
Yeah.
There was a time,
They're powerful cards.
They're still legal and not that much played. Anyway, you know what's very much played? Thoughtseize. I want to know your hand. I want to take the best card out of it.
All right, so there's 2 lands
You'd
already.
be like, how do you decide what's the best? Well, that's up to you.
I think there's a pretty simple metric.
I was hoping for a Winota in your hand. Very glad to see it. Yeah, your hand looks much worse than with Winota.
I will draw and I will shock myself to cast a Prosperous Innkeeper.
We've seen this card plenty of times at this point.
Get a treasure, open it in, and pass the turn.
Untap and draw. So I could go for Prosperous Innkeeper here, but instead I'm playing Fauna Shaman. I know Jamin has the Scackle Evaporation. I actually want him to play it now. My hand is good. I have Port of Calling. I don't want to use Fauna Shaman right now. So I'm just going to use this Fauna Shaman as a bait. And that is, to me, good enough. You know, I like your card so much, but I'm not going to play it. I'll play a Fauna Shaman instead. This card is also super powerful. It's a throwback to Survival of the Fittest, one of the most powerful cards of all time. 2 mana 2/2, pay 1 green, tap, discard a creature, search a creature, put it in your hand. And my deck is a creature combo deck, so very important. It's up to you.
I will draw. Eldritch Evolution is like the second best card I can draw here. It's basically just another copy of Winota in my hand. However, casting it this turn would be a big mistake because Fauna Shaman can not only get Andrea additional combo pieces, it can also make the deck more explosive by, for example, tapping for Convoking Card of Calling. Gotta get rid of that. Shock myself again, because I have played with Survival of the Fittest in the past and that thing's gotta go. Skyclave Apparition is a core spirit that when it enters the battlefield, it exiles a non-land permanent with mana cost 4 or less. So this one, very much gone. And if the apparition ever leaves the battlefield, you'll get a 2/2 spirit token. I gain a life off the Innkeeper and you lose 1 life off the Innkeeper. Go.
It's all according to plan, don't worry. I'm going to tap 2 and mimic your Prosperous Innkeeper play. Also getting a treasure and getting ready to gain some life. I do have the mana to play an Amalia after this Prosperous Innkeeper, but I'm not going to. A little bit of a mystery going on here. I don't want to tell you that I have a combo in my hand. I want you to do the same play as game 1. You go for Winota, you go for your combat, and then untap and kill. But for now, that's it. You can go.
I will draw. All right, I'll play an Elvish Mystic.
Elvish Mystic on turn 4, that's totally fine.
Not as powerful.
As many of them as you want.
I'll gain a life off the Innkeeper. And then I've got one more trick up my sleeve, because I don't even need to be lucky to draw a Winota. I'll just cast an Eldritch Evolution.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Now, Eldritch Evolution is a sorcery. It's not even a creature. It lets me sacrifice one of my creatures and look through my entire deck for any creature that costs up to 2 mana more.
So 2 + 2 is?
4.
Let us know.
You know what that means. It's Winota time.
Let us know in the comments what 2 + 2 is.
Let's head into the red zone, see that trigger.
6 lands?
This Winota trigger is really good. I can take a Huntmaster, which puts 10 power on the battlefield. I could take a Blade Historian, which gives all of my attacking creatures double strike, but I can't. I have to take this Brutal Cathar to disrupt Andrea's combo, because it's a combo deck. They're built to combo, so I need to do everything I can to prevent it. I'll put in a Brutal Cathar.
Okay.
Now Brutal Cathar, I'll exile a creature of yours. How about this Innkeeper? Goodbye. And then you take 4 damage.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not really okay. I wish my Innkeeper was around.
Your life total is looking kind of low.
Nah.
Go ahead.
It's still a healthy life total. Ooh, that's a nice one. I'll play Mana Confluence, and you know what? I am going to put my combo pieces into play. Amalia Benavides Aguirre,
Yeah.
Wagner Walker. We've seen them before. They combo together. My innkeeper there would have been very strong. But yeah, that's it. That's my turn. You can go.
I will untap and draw. And I don't have anything better to do.
Hey. Wait a second. I just had a glimpse of genius. I think I have
A glimpse of
I
genius.
think I'm still in time. Begin combat. I'll sacrifice a treasure. Gain a green mana. I'll play a Tamia Safekeeping.
no.
Target permanent you control gains X-Proof and Indestructible. But that's not why I'm playing this card. I'm playing this card because it says you gain 2 life. And that, my friend, starts the engine. Amalia, explore. We've seen it last turn. I'll show you again. Top of my card, in my hand because it's a land. Wagro Walker triggers. Puts a counter, gains 3 life. I'll do it again. Zoop. Graveyard. Zoop. I love the sound. You know, you are on Cardmarket, so you have all the soundtrack, but you know, on Mengu's workshop, we actually have to track all the sound with my voice, so zoop. Bing. Zoop. Bing. Zoop. Bing. Zoop. Bing. Bing. And there it is, my Etherflux Reservoir. I'm gonna hold it on top. Amalia gets a bunch more trigger, 20 power, boom, destroy everything else.
Yep.
I'm going to get an illusion, and also my Prosperous Innkeeper comes back to me.
Which gives you a treasure token.
Yeah, you can now go to your second main phase.
I actually have another creature to play.
Ooh, another else.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Nice. All right, I'll draw this Etherflux Reservoir. The days are gone for you. I'll tap 4. I'll play my Etherflux Reservoir.
So I take 50?
No. I have different plans for you.
What?
Your Llanowar Elf takes 50 damage. I lose 50 life. I don't care. I have plenty of those.
Wow.
And then bada boom, attack with all.
That was the best Llanowar elves ever. It's dealing 50 damage.
That's it. Amalia Benavides Aguirre defeats Winota Joiner of Forces. Thank you for the game. See you in the semifinals. Your deck did what it could. It really showed the power creep of Pioneer. Yeah, they should unban it.
No.